Greetings and salutations out there, everybody. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. And welcome to a new episode of the Psycho Nerd Podcast. I am your host, the Psycho Nerd, joined by my partner in crime, my ride or die, Miss CJ.
Hello,
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good.
As she waves to me instead of the microphone, so we're changing it up today. But well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a little while since I've made a podcast on my channel versus being on other people's podcasts. I had originally meant on doing a best and worst of 2025. I still intend to do so, but unfortunately, it hasn't actually happened yet. Our schedules haven't really lined up for the past few weeks to do this. It seems like every time we try, one of us is like super tired. So, it happens. We're adults. We get tired. We have kids. So
The adult.
we are adults and we get tired. We don't have the energy anymore. But she actually came up with the suggestion of doing not only the best and worst, like top 10 as
Sorry.
as she creaks. She had the idea of maybe since horror is my favorite genre of all time right now, she came up with the idea of doing the just covering all the horror movies that I saw last year in 2025 because I don't remember the exact tally, but I know that I saw 54 horror movies in 2025 out of the 130 to 150 movies that I saw last year. So I didn't think that was such a bad idea. So yeah, we're just gonna kind of gloss over. We'll talk about all the different movies, what we thought of them. We'll try not to dwell too much on each one because we got a lot of movies to cover.
Yeah, and I think I've pretty much seen almost everything that you have on there. If
Just
not all
about.
of them.
Just about. I know there's a couple you haven't, but yeah, we'll go ahead and jump into it. And for the record, these will be in the order that I saw them because I always keep track of every movie that I watch as I watch them. So we're going to go in chronological order from the beginning of January all the way up until the end of last year. So starting with the first horror movie I saw last year, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
I hate that
Oh,
movie.
jeez. You haven't even watched it.
I don't care.
Okay, a little bit of context. She is a huge Eeyore fan.
Yes.
And for anybody who hasn't watched the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, there's a little explanation at the beginning of the movie, almost animated, where apparently they end up eating Eeyore.
Yeah, that's my horror movie right there. What the hell?
She loved that idea.
The hell I did?
Just kidding. No, she couldn't stand that idea. I will admit it does stand out, but for all the things that are not
Winnie
so
the Pooh had more meat on him than my Eeyore did. They could have eaten him.
it's okay. It's just a movie. It just keep saying it over and over. It's just a movie. Just a movie. Just like the tagline for I think it was The Last House on the Left. It's just a movie. Just a movie. That's another fucked up movie. But anyway, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey Part 2. She didn't see this one. I did. I won't go into too much detail about the first one because the first one is I think I only found one or two positive things to say. This movie, on the other hand, while it is still not a great movie, in my opinion, it is definitely a step up from the previous one. It definitely feels more like a horror movie. There are some fun moments along the way. Even the first like 5-10 minutes of the movie, I was like, okay, you know what? This is more like what we should have done for this. If we're going to turn this into like a slasher type of franchise, this is a little bit more up the right alley of what I expect from trashy slasher films. And quite frankly, Christopher Robin was nowhere near as much of a bitch as he was in the first movie.
I'll take your word for it.
They rewrote the character. They made him a little bit more tolerable. So if you're looking for a somewhat fun, trashy horror movie, yeah, give that one a go, but you could probably skip the first one if you're not interested.
Especially if you love Eeyore.
Yeah, well,
Don't watch it.
I don't think I'll ever get to get her to watch the first one. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
They show his bones.
Yeah, they do.
Nope.
Animated, as I recall. It's been a while since I've seen it. But next up was the Wolfman, directed by Lee Winnell. Of course, you might know him from the Saw franchise. He also directed the Invisible Man a few years ago.
I like that movie a lot.
But the Wolfman, I thought this was a mixed bag. I thought it was okay. The aspect of being able to see from the perspective of the wolf, I thought was an interesting touch. But I need to go back and rewatch it. I had intended to watch the movie a second time, but I actually never got around to it. But thankfully, it is on streaming. So at this point, for me, it's more like a mixed bag. What about you?
Was it? I don't remember that one much, but all I remember is if it's like the line of how the wolf sees. Is that kind? There was another movie recently that we watched.
You might be thinking of that one. That was a year ago, almost exactly a
Um,
year ago, where it was like they're in a barn. The mother and son are in the barn or whatever, and we kind of see how the wolf is able to kind of see and sense everything around him. I thought that was an
wow.
interesting idea. It
Yeah,
really was.
it just shows how their senses are heightened.
Right. Exactly. I just thought the story was a little bit lacking here and there, but again, this is why we do repeat movie viewings because sometimes movies hit better the second time when they don't hit as well the first. But for me, again, mixed bag. Next up after that was The Changeling. This is actually a classic movie from the 80s. I don't have the exact year in front of me, starring George C. Scott, which I am starting to become a big fan of this guy. I'm going to start looking up more of his movies. He was in, he did a Christmas Carol film at some point in the 80s. He was in Firestarter. You probably remember him from
I
that.
know Firestarter.
Right. And he was in The Exorcist 3, the best
I like
Exorcist
that
movie we've
one.
ever gotten. What?
I liked Exorcist 3.
But The Changeling, see, I actually had to remind her because she couldn't remember what it was about. But now that you remember, do you remember whether or not you liked it?
Yes, I did like it.
Okay, she did like it. I actually enjoyed that one too. I didn't think it was half bad. This movie had been on my list to watch for like years before I finally got to see it. And thankfully, the Draft House did show it last year. And I was like, okay, finally. Not only do I finally get to check it out, but hey, I get to watch it on the big screen. Not a bad, I don't know what I'd call this one. This is more like a haunted house kind of movie, almost like a mystery type of movie where George C. Scott is trying to find
Like
out.
investigating.
Yeah, kind of,
Also.
sort of. Trying to find out the mystery about this boy that died in the house at some point years before. So I actually want to watch that one again down the road. I might even get it in my collection.
You don't have it in your collection?
No, I do. Oh, she's making notes. Believe me. She's taking notes of it. Like, oh, you don't have that? She goes off to the side. Like, what are you doing? Nothing. I do nothing. I do nothing. I know nothing.
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't trust that look. Moving on from that, we've got Presents. Remember? Oh, okay. What's with the look? You didn't like that one?
It's not that I don't like it.
Oh, I know. I think I know why she made that.
I just have
look.
a lot of questions. I would love to ask the writer of this story of how it came to be, because how does this presence,
without giving too much away for those that haven't seen it.
Okay, how does this presence become what it becomes?
That's a valid question. I will agree.
Because it makes no freaking sense to me.
Okay, for anyone who has seen Presents, I'm pretty sure you know what she's talking about. If you haven't, then feel free to check it out for yourself. I want to say it is on some form of streaming at this point. I do need to watch this one a second time because I agree. There is a situation. Basically, you've got a family that moves into a house. It's almost shot in the way of like found footage, but not really.
It's in the presence point of view.
Yeah, there's like they move into this house, and the camera angle is always coming from this, as she said, presence that is living in the house. So that's how everything plays out. And essentially, that's really the most I can say about the movie. I think a disservice if I go into more detail.
Yeah,
but
and
something
at the end, you'll just be like, okay, I have questions.
Yeah, there is something that happens at the end, kind of a twist ending, if you will. I think you can agree with that.
Yeah.
That it does raise some questions. I mean, the movie itself, leading up to that moment, I thought was pretty good. I enjoyed it. I mean, you could argue maybe just a couple of slow, draggy moments here and there, but otherwise, I gave it a thumbs up.
Well, it was gonna be slow, kind of draggy, because it's coming from the presence.
Right.
The presence doesn't do much, but just float around the house.
Well, that's fine, but there are times when there's nothing going on at that moment, and that can be a little bit slow for some. Yes, so we agree. Yeah, but otherwise, I gave it a thumbs up. I definitely want to check it out again, and plus, it's got Lucy Liu. I don't think I see her in too much these days. So it was nice to see her in that. The next movie is a movie, it's an older film that we watched on streaming called Fresh. It's got Sebastian Stan. I want to say this one came out, what, a few years ago, I think you said.
Yeah, I forgot who told me to watch it. I heard it from somewhere and I wanted to watch it.
Well, it wasn't me. I
Nope.
didn't do it.
No, because you didn't even know about it until I told you about it.
I think I had seen it on streaming and I had heard somewhere that it was interesting, but when you kept ranting and raving about it, I was like, okay, you know what? We'll just push that to the top of the list. We'll go ahead and knock that one out. And this was an interesting movie. Again, I don't know. I don't want to give too much away on this one. You got Sebastian Stan meets a girl. They start talking, hanging out together, but then something happens along the way where all of a sudden the girl is a captive in his house. And there's a reason why she's captive. Apparently he's got other girls there. He kidnaps people and then how can I say this?
There's a lot of cannibalism in this movie.
Yeah, okay, so essentially what he's doing is he's got these girls that are chained up and he's actually going out of his way to cut off different parts of their body and sells them to people who want to buy the body parts in order to eat them. That is a crazy premise. That alone was enough to sell me on the idea. Plus, Sebastian Stan gives a pretty good performance, and the lead actress is pretty good, I thought too, which I don't have her name right in front of me. But I do recommend that one. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I'd like to see it again.
I think it was on Hulu, if I remember correctly. It might still be on there. Don't quote me on that. The next, we got The Invisible Man, the remake from 2020. I hadn't seen it before. She had gotten it for me, I want to say about a year ago for my birthday or Christmas. I forget which.
More like pushing it on him so he could hurry up and watch it. I've been bugging him to watch this movie forever.
Kind of like how you've been on my butt for playing Metroid Dread.
Yes.
Kind of like that.
Yes.
That's going to be a little while. Now that Metroid Prime 4 is out, you're going to have to, that game's going on the back burner. Sorry. We have to, I'm playing through the series in chronological order.
He's doing this on purpose.
I'm not going to lie. It does make me laugh to see the look on her face every time I say she's got to wait. Because she's been waiting for me to play Metroid Dread for a while now. She bought it for me like a couple of years ago. I know we're getting off topic, but I'll at least explain. I've been going through all the Metroid games, like literally going through the entire series. And I was literally up to Metroid Other M, which I've never actually played all the way through. And then it was just that, Fusion, and then Dread. But then Metroid Prime 4 came out, and it's like, well, that means we got to take a step back.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Because I'm pretty sure, I'm assuming it takes place before Dread. I've never gotten confirmation on that. But if you can prove that it takes place after, that would change things a bit.
Back to our little thingy here.
As we were saying, The Invisible Man, again, directed by Lee Winnell, the same guy who did The Wolfman. This movie is one of the best horror movies I saw last year. It was a fucking banger.
Yes.
She was totally correct in what she said. The twist ending at the end, or at least the way it all played out, was awesome. It was awesome. I admit it. Now I have it on 4K, so I can watch it whenever I want. I might make this a regular watch in the future. Matter of fact, I would love to do a marathon with the original Invisible Man, and then also Hollow Man, which I don't have a copy of yet, and then this one, and just do like an Invisible Man trilogy.
I feel like somebody watched Hollow Man and then got the idea to do it better with Visible Man.
It's possible. Everybody
But
gets inspiration from somewhere.
Imagine just being able to waddle around and nobody can see you?
That is a concept that scares the crap out of me.
Doesn't it?
It kind of does.
And then you accidentally sneeze, and then all of a sudden they're just like wondering what in the world happened.
Yeah, what the fuck was that? But you know what? I thoroughly enjoyed that one. So yeah, look forward to watching that one again in the future. Definitely give it a thumbs up for The Invisible Man. Next up is Heart Eyes. Came out last year around Valentine's Day.
That one would come out again on Valentine's Day. They should play that for Valentine's Day. That would be an awesome movie to watch on Valentine's Day.
Between that one and My Bloody Valentine, I think those would be the best choices. As far as like,
if I've seen My Bloody, I don't remember.
You actually got that one for me on Steelbook about a year or so, for Christmas last year. I remember that now. I've never seen it. I haven't watched it yet. We'll get to it. But Hard Eyes, you know what? I thought this was a fun little horror slasher movie that definitely is takes place around Valentine's Day. It's got the actress, remember the mother character as a teenager from Totally Killer.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in it. I like her, and I forget the name of the lead actor. I want to say he's in the Scream franchise now, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. I'm probably making myself look bad if I'm wrong, but I do dig the costume of this character, this guy going around killing people with the hard eyes. Literally, he has hearts for eyes.
I want to know who he is.
Yeah, and some of the kills were pretty gnarly. There were only a few things about the movie that I wasn't a big fan of, like the big reveal as to who the killer was at the end. I thought was kind of weak. But I do enjoy the fact that we got a few like horror alumni, like Jordana Brewster was in it, who was in the faculty, and then Devon Sawa was in it. Of course, we know him from the Final Destination franchise, and most recently on the Chucky TV show, which I thought he did a good job with.
I only saw a few of those episodes.
He actually plays multiple characters over the span of the several seasons that it was on. As far as I know, it's canceled now, but it was fun for what it was. I need to watch the last season. I haven't seen it yet. As far as Hard Ice is concerned, definitely enjoyed it. It would be cool if they were showing it again this year, but as far as I can tell, they're not. But I will enjoy having this one in my collection down the road. This is definitely a Valentine's Day potential watch down the road.
I want to see the Valentine's one on Valentine's Day. That's a good Valentine's Day movie.
Which one?
The one that I haven't seen yet. The one that you said you
Oh,
had.
My Bloody Valentine? Yeah, because there's one that came out in the 80s, and then they remade it sometime in the 2000s. I want to say 04, 5, 3, 6. I forget the exact year. I was at the theater when it came out. I know that. Next up, a movie that took me three consecutive viewings before I could truly appreciate it for what it was. And then I took my son to go watch it the fourth time, and he fucking loved it. And that is The Monkey.
I enjoyed it the first time I watched. I don't know what the hell is wrong with you.
You know, I think I know what my problem was. I think I was taking it too seriously. That was my problem.
How do you take a movie called The Monkey too seriously?
It was about a killer monkey toy. I don't know.
How do you take that seriously?
Apparently I did. I don't know what I was smoking or not smoking, but apparently it just didn't do it for me the first time, and I went to go see it again. It still didn't hit the second time, but then when I went in the third time, I was like, you know what?
I think you just needed the monkey to come alive in front of him. Maybe that's what he was.
Let's not do that. But I had a similar problem with the Superman movie that we got last summer. Same exact thing. It took me 3 viewings to fully appreciate that movie. But there are reasons why I didn't like it. I will do a podcast on that down the road. I've been wanting to for months, but not today. But you know what? The Monkey was actually a lot of fun. Not perfect.
That was a point.
A few what?
For it to be a lot of fun.
Well, at least I can acknowledge it now that it was a lot of fun. And one of several Stephen King movies that we got last year. That was one of them. There were more that I actually saw. But yeah, this was a good fun little movie. And like I said, my son, I took him to see it the fourth time. He definitely got into it. He thought some of the kills were hilarious. The swimming pool one he really got him. I won't, for anyone who hasn't seen it, I'll just say swimming pool and I'll leave it at that. I won't go into detail. But it definitely gets a thumbs up now.
Oh yeah.
I can't remember. Did you buy me that one or no?
Yes.
Okay, well now I have it on Blu-ray so I can watch it whenever the hell I want. Woohoo!
Yep.
Anyway, next up, oh my God. This will go on the worst of last year, worst of everything I saw last year, Mousetrap.
I never saw that thing.
You don't want to.
I don't want to.
You don't want to.
No. It's just as bad as Pooh Bear.
I will, you know what? I'm sorry, but Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 was actually somewhat fun compared to this one. The acting was terrible. The story was terrible. The premise was terrible. Nothing made any sense. I need to talk to Scuba and maybe see about, you know what? I did tell him. I told him this would be a great suggestion for the Crypt of Cringe down the road. But I usually try to watch everything twice. Maybe things hit better the second time, but I don't think so. This one is kind of cashing in on the whole idea that the Mickey Mouse character, or at least a form of it, is like what's the word what's the phrase I'm looking for?
Evil?
Public domain.
Um,
Because there's been other movies as well that have been made within the last couple of years that kind of follow that same thing. Like, oh, it's public domain. Let's turn it into a horror movie. And it was not well made at all.
Don't breathe.
We'll get there. We're not quite there yet. Oh, actually, yeah, we are. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so moving on from Mousetrap. Usually I say go watch it for yourself, make up your own opinion,
Well,
but
they can if they wanted to.
yeah, I am here to tell you, you don't want to watch Mousetrap.
But you can.
You can. I just don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Even if you're going to watch it for free on streaming, trust me, you're going to wish you got your hour and a half back. I do. Anyway, moving on. Don't Breathe.
I kind of need to.
Funny. Do you remember what this was about?
Not being able to breathe.
She's got jokes. She's got jokes.
Is that the one with the water?
The what?
I'm thinking of one where this guy's in the water. Which one am I thinking?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's
no.
the one where he has to go down in the water and one of the guys ends up dying. They were trying to fix this big.
No, you're thinking of, that's not a horror movie. You're thinking
No.
of the one about them going underwater. No, that's a totally different thing.
That's
not a horror movie. This one is about these burglars that break into a house, and it turns out the guy that lives there, he's blind, but yeah, he's not exactly the kind of person they wanted to break into his house. They picked the wrong person to fuck with, basically. This was actually an interesting movie, I thought. I always forget the main actor's name. I swear to God, he's been in a bunch of stuff. He plays the villain in Avatar. He was also in The Monkey's Paw, which I have on Blu-ray. Interesting movie. He's been in a bunch of other stuff too. They did make a sequel to this movie. I haven't seen it, but I've read the premise. It doesn't really interest me all that much, if I'm being completely honest. But this movie was interesting with the premise, but then as the movie went on, it gets more and more messed up. The more we learn about this guy, the more it's like, oh God, this is pretty twisted. But I remember enjoying it. Do you remember if you liked it or not?
I'm trying to remember.
Oh,
wow,
she's looking it up. She's looking it up. We'll give her a second.
Part 2.
I just said that.
Interesting. Okay.
But
that part.
She's looking up to see if she can remember it or not.
Interesting. Okay. Well.
Let's see who was in the cast. Pull up the cast for me, please. Jane Levy. Oh yes, the main actress from the Evil Dead remake. Yes. Okay. I was trying to remember who the lead actress was.
I've seen her before.
Of course you have. Evil Dead. And a few other things, but that's the main thing I know her from. If you've never seen the Evil Dead remake, oh man, that's a fun movie. Such a fun movie. But anything you want to add to Don't Breathe?
No. I don't remember much of it, honestly.
I do need to watch it again somewhere down the road, but because unfortunately I don't have the exact month in front of me of when we saw these movies. I want to say we're somewhere in February or March. That's where we are at this point. After that, we've got the Child's Play remake that came out in 2019. This is, again, been on my list for a while. I finally broke down and checked it out. You know what? I didn't think it was that bad.
No,
I
liked it.
I think this is one of the better horror remakes that I've seen in ever, to be honest with you. I do like that the voice is Mark Hamill. You can't go wrong with Mark Hamill, one of the best voice actors, in my opinion, of all time. But I do actually like how the premise was in this one, where it was an electrical malfunction within the system inside of it all that created the,
Well, it makes sense.
Well, because they had to do something different. They couldn't just have it be another serial killer going in there. I think that it's like, okay, you're just rehashing the exact same idea. So they had to do something different.
Making the movie their own.
Exactly. So we agree.
Yes.
She likes to undermine things I say. She does it all. Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
I do not.
You totally do. But I love you anyway.
I love you too.
But Child's Play. The remake, I didn't think it was that bad. Audrey Plaza plays the mother. I forget who plays the kid, but again, not bad. I still say I think I preferred the original, but this one's not too bad. I enjoyed it enough that I bought it on Blu-ray. So this will be definitely. I would like to do like a comparison between the two one day. Watch one and then the other.
Wasn't the daughter to the guy that does the voice of Chucky in that one? Or who am I
No, you're
thinking
thinking of
of?
the original series.
Is
Yeah.
that what it was?
Yeah, you're thinking because in the original series, once we get to oh crap, Curse of Chucky, I think it was. Yeah, Curse of Chucky. It's Fiona Dourif that plays the main character in that movie, the one that's in the wheelchair. She is the real life daughter of Brad Dourif, the voice of Chucky. So,
Oh.
but yeah, that's what you're thinking of. Actually, and I enjoy her in that series too, but we won't get too much into detail on that. But yeah, Child's Play remake, give it a try, give it a chance. Might surprise you. Next up is Opus. This one I had to remind her about. She actually kind of forgot about this one.
Yeah.
You have a journalist who gets invited to go to this long lost pop star's house. Apparently, John Malkovich plays this pop star that was real big years, like 30 years prior to that. And I guess he just kind of stopped doing anything. But all of a sudden, he decides to put out a whole new album, invites different people to come to his house to kind of show off his new album and whatnot. And then it quickly turns into a really horrific thriller type movie without getting too much into detail. But this movie did not do well in theaters. It was kind of panned by a lot of different critics. I'm not going to say it was great, but I didn't think it was bad either. It's
It
once
was a movie.
it was an interesting movie. Once the shit hits the fan, it does get pretty interesting. And the ending, you could argue maybe is a little bit tagged on. Maybe it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But you know what? I saw it twice and I thought it was interesting enough. Whether or not I'll have it in my collection, that's debatable at this point. Anything else you want to say about Opus?
It was very interesting.
Plus, I've always been a big fan of John Malkovich. I think the first thing I ever saw him in was probably The Man in the Iron Mask, and that's one of my favorite
Wow,
movies
that's a
from.
long time ago.
That's one of my favorite movies from 1998. That's a great flick. Great flick. Next up, The Lady in the Yard.
Oh,
I did
I
not.
wish she would have just stayed in the yard.
This is a weird one, to be honest. And to be honest, it's been so long since I've seen it. It's been almost a year now. I only remember so many details. I did intend on checking it out a second time, but we just never got around to it. It was.
I hate to interrupt you,
No, go ahead. Say what you gotta
but
say.
I have a feeling there is more to that movie
Mm-hmm.
than we know about.
Meaning.
And I wish I could know it. Like, there must be some type of folklore, culture thing, just something that she represents that we just don't know. And I think if it would have been explained more in the movie movie would have made more sense.
I can't argue that point. I did find the movie to be a lot confusing.
I think it's only because of that. There has to be a reason. Somebody out there in this world has to know. It was meaning of something. It had to have meant something, like death was coming, or just something. It was, I don't know what. But
I know that the figure of the woman in the yard was supposed to be had some kind of meaning as it pertains to the mother.
Yeah, because it was kind of like the mother.
Like to her madness or something like that. Something like that. See, again, it's been so long since I've seen it. The details are kind of leaving me. I know it's on streaming. I need to watch it again sometime. But
it's just missed a lot. It missed its point.
It just didn't do it for you because of that, pretty much.
Yeah, it needed more explanation.
Okay, that's fair. We could always kind of look up details about it, maybe see if there's something that we missed or something that we just didn't understand the first time. That's always possible. It happens. Moving on to a movie that a lot of people that I watch on YouTube actually was not a fan of, and that was Until Dawn.
It wasn't that bad.
I didn't think that it was that bad, but here's the thing. This is based off a video game from so many years ago. I didn't even know this game existed until I found out about it. Once I saw the trailer and then I started looking things up about it. I think for me, I have the luxury of never playing the game, so I have no basis for comparison. I've been told that the game has a very interesting story going on, but this movie does not go along with the story whatsoever. It takes the premise and a few other details, and that's pretty much it. So I can understand why people who've actually played the game would not like it very much, but for me, being an outsider, I didn't think it was that bad. It was an interesting premise. Some of the kills were gnarly, little CG, but whatever.
It was a mind numbing movie. You just go in there to watch it and have
Hmm.
your mind numb for a little bit.
Yeah.
It wasn't horrible.
Oh, crazy premise though. I mean, a group of friends are looking for this one girl's sister, I think it was, and they end up at this one house. They find her signature in the book. I think they end up signing the book, or somebody does, and they get stuck there. And the situation is that they have to try to survive the entire night without getting killed. But every time they all get killed, time starts over again, and they have to go through the whole scenario all over again.
You know, if they just all stuck together and, worked together,
Mhm.
they probably wouldn't have died.
And it's one of those scenarios where, as time went on, a lot of emotions were flying and some people were turning on each other. So I don't know. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was fun. It was okay. It was moderate. Mixed bag, I would say. And I saw it twice in theaters. I didn't think it was all that bad. I find that the biggest complaint was the fact that because they didn't really go with the story of the game, that's why people were shitting on it. So, I mean, to each their own, but for me, it wasn't terrible. Definitely not the worst thing I saw last year.
There's a lot of movies that is a lot of games that are hard to turn into movies.
I will agree with that.
Some of them, a lot of them, are better kept as movies or kept as games, depending on which one came first.
Or maybe they could have put a little bit more effort into it, but that's debatable as well. So, but I agree. Some games don't need to be turned into it, but sometimes the popularity issue kind of overtakes, I guess, people's decisions about turning it into a movie. They think, oh, this is going to make a lot of money. And it comes out, doesn't do shit. So, but moving on from Until Dawn, she did not watch this one with me.
Oh.
This was just a random movie I saw they were playing at the Draft House. I have heard of this movie when I was a kid at some point, and I just had to check it out. Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers. I don't even know if I would count this as a horror movie, but I guess you call it a trashy, softcore slasher movie with a bunch of women just duping these guys into having sex, but they end up killing them.
Okay.
Lots and lots of nudity and lots
the
of
women are the killers in this.
The women are the killers, yes. And lots of blood just being thrown around. I swear, just to give you an idea, there's a scene where a girl is just cutting this guy up. I want to say it was with a chainsaw. I don't remember specifically what they were using.
Hooker, so
they use other weapons too, smarty pants. But yeah, she's killing somebody, and you can tell that somebody is just off camera throwing blood on her the whole time. It's hilarious. It's about as cheesy as it sounds. Not the best acting going around, but for a movie like this, I don't think acting was their top priority. I think they were just trying to give you something for guys to watch on Skinamax after 12 o'clock after their wives go to bed.
Why not just watch it with their wives? What the hell?
Because their wives probably don't want to watch that shit. Or for little kids to watch when their parents go to sleep, try to keep the volume down. I don't know. I'm just saying. But again, I don't think I would call that the worst movie, but yeah, it's as bad as it sounds in terms of quality. As I recall, I can't pronounce her name. Linnea Quigley. She was in the Return to the Living Dead, the one that had the short red hair, got naked in the cemetery, did that dance or whatever the hell. Yeah, she's been in a bunch of movies in the 80s. She was in it too. So, all right, moving on. We actually hit one of the bangers of last year, Sinners.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this was a good movie. I saw this one twice in theaters. I think you bought it for me for Christmas, if I remember correctly.
I probably did.
I think you did. I'll have to go back and check, because she bought me a lot of shit for Christmas. A lot of shit.
You complaining once again?
No.
Okay.
No.
Just checking.
Just pointing out facts. That's all. Just pointing it out. Sinners was a fun movie. This is a movie that just it for me, it's comparable to From Dusk Till Dawn, where the movie just kind of goes on. It's a pair of brothers. They're trying to turn this one building out in the middle of nowhere into like a hot spot for people to come and dance and drink and have food. No big deal. And about halfway through the movie, it turns into a vampire movie. And frankly, this is a very well done movie, so much so the Academy has recognized, and it's been nominated for a shit ton of awards.
Yes, my daughter is very excited for this.
You know what? I hope it does win some awards, because I think it deserves it. I mean, the problem is that there are other movies that are also as deserving, so it's gonna be an interesting year. I think there's only so many movies that are up for different awards that I haven't seen. And the ones that I haven't seen, I've never heard of. Kind of makes me feel like I'm failing as a movie watcher. But you know what? That's what happens when you live in Corpus. There's movies that don't even come to this fucking town.
Wait, that's why you have to look for them.
That means I'm going to have to start learning how to look up different theaters outside of Corpus and go like to different cities and
Or
watch
just
certain movies.
find out where they, stream them later.
I guess that's the only option I have now because they've already been released at some point or another.
Too bad there's no Blockbuster.
I miss Blockbuster. I really do. But Sinners, definitely enjoyed it. Can't wait to watch it again down the road. This next one was one of the more fun slasher movies, Clown in a Cornfield.
That's a good book. I can't wait to have the other books turned into movies.
She had to tell me that it was a book, and I was like, what? A book? A slasher movie or a slasher book story. Wow, that's interesting. And I had a lot of fun with this movie. I did see it twice in theaters. She bought it for me on Blu-ray for Christmas, and I look forward to watching it again. This was a really fun slasher. There was actually some decent comedy throughout the film as well. The joke about the rotary phone I thought was so damn funny. These kids of this generation, at one point they're being chased or whatever. They end up in a house. They don't know how to use a goddamn rotary phone. Did they never watch videos on the internet? I guess. I don't know.
About 90% of the kids nowadays don't know how to use one of those.
Apparently not. I look at it and I'm like, I don't know. I guess I'm biased because it doesn't seem like it's that hard of an idea. You see this round thing with all these holes and there's numbers on them. It's like, play with it a little while. I'm sure you'll figure it out before both of you get killed. But they have no clue how to use it. I just think that's funny. Just shows how out of touch kids are these days to how things were 20 years ago or 30 years ago.
They can use the other phone to see what happens. A 1920 phone, the one that you have to spin.
Oh, God.
And then talking to I could just see
that.
Where are the dials?
I saw that they had that kind of phone in Mary Poppins, as I recall. That's funny. Can you imagine if they had a phone that far back? That would have been hilarious. It's like, oh my God, we're living in the fucking dark ages or something.
Hey, it'll still work.
But I do hope, since you say there are multiple books, I hope they make more of these. This was actually a lot of fun.
They're fun books.
All right. And I think at this point, we're coming up to the summer. We've got Final Destination Bloodlines.
I enjoyed that one.
I will go on record as saying I was not looking forward to this. I was like, why are we making a sequel to a franchise that hasn't had a sequel in, what was it, like 15 years or some shit?
But you know what? They did a really good job until the end.
You know what? I won't disagree. I think this is one of the better Final Destination films we've ever gotten. And we have a handful of them now. So this was definitely a lot better than I expected. I do enjoy how the opening premise set everything up, how it takes place in the past. I do like how they found a way, without getting too specific, to kind of tie this movie into some of the other movies in the franchise. So it was subtle, but I think it works. I think the way they explained it worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
But I agree. The ending was a little disappointing, a little CG heavy. I didn't agree with how they went with it, but if you've seen Final Destination movies before, you shouldn't be so surprised, I think, is the best way I can say. But it doesn't mean we have to be happy about it, does it?
No.
She really hated that ending. Let me tell you, she fucking hated it.
Shaking my head at these people. There are other ways. There's other ways. I could name 10 of them off the top of my head.
Well, you can't win them all. But other than that, it was a pretty solid movie. I do recommend checking it out. After that, we've got a movie that we actually had to watch in San Antonio after watching the Dogma re-release in San Antonio, and that was Bring Her Back.
Or just keep her there, let her die. Just let her be.
That's harsh. But no, not really. But this is made by the same people who made Talk to Me, I believe it was called. And a lot of people didn't like this movie. I didn't think it was terrible. I thought it was an interesting enough story. It was well acted. It's weird premise.
My daughter did not like it. She said, "What the hell did you have me watch?"
And there are some really really cringy moments along the way. You can ask her. There was one moment in the movie where I'm just like, oh, 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 and I'm looking away, and I give it a couple seconds. I look back. Oh, it's still going on. Oh God, stop, 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 stop. That's enough. Stop. So
Again, this is another movie that they didn't take the time and explain what the hell is going on and why.
actually, no, they kind of did. It's a situation where
Where did she get the idea from?
I don't remember.
She didn't tell you.
You know what? I think you are correct on that, because I mean, it's been a while since we saw this one, but
do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many questions that it leaves like, okay, what gave you the idea that this was going to be a good thing?
I don't think she's wrong about that. I think as I recall, they don't give us an explanation as to what's going on. Essentially, you've got a mother who has a couple of kids that move in who are recently orphaned. They're living in the house now, but the mother does a lot of weird shit while they're living there.
Grief-stricken.
Very grief-stricken, but yeah, she does things that make no sense.
No.
It's like, what are you doing? As the movie goes on, you start to understand why she's doing these things, but it's just weird when you're watching it the first time. And a lot of people didn't like the ending. A lot of people say the ending was a cop-out.
Kind of. Yeah.
So I can't completely disagree with that, but I feel like this may be your cup of tea, maybe it's not. It really just depends on what you're into.
Yeah.
So, but I do want to see it again. I know it's on streaming. Sooner or later, I would love to do a review on this one once I have better details.
I have to give the people props because I think the ones that wrote it and did it, this was their second movie or second. Yeah.
Well, no, because like I said, it's the same people who made Talk to Me that came out a few years ago, which was also a pretty interesting movie. But I've only seen it the one time. I need to watch it again. So, yeah, interesting for what it was. Next up, Dangerous Animals. A very fun movie, slasher movie with sharks.
Australian movie.
Oh, yeah. So we got this guy.
Those Australians just know things, but we don't.
Well, I guess so. We got this guy with a boat who likes to kidnap people, and basically he likes to feed them to sharks, record it, and watch it at his own leisure. That's the movie in a nutshell.
You know,
he's a crazy sumbitch.
Would not surprise me at all if there's actually people out there that like to do that. Don't ever go on a shark boat.
No, I would agree, especially with somebody who kind of rubs you the wrong way, because I'm watching that and I'm just like, yeah, no, don't get on the boat. This guy's creepy. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Even the girl knew not to get on that boat.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know what? That's true. In the opening of the movie, that's right. She did have hesitations, and she should have gone with her gut. She really should have.
I would have been like, you know what? Go ahead. If you really want to go ahead. I'll meet you over here when you're done. If you come back.
You know what? Honestly, with this one, I think this is the best movie that I've ever seen with Jai Courtney. I forget how to pronounce his name. I've seen him in a few other things. He was Kyle Reese in Terminator Genesis, which that's a discussion for another time. Anyway, and what else? Oh, he was in Suicide Squad, the original one. But this is the best thing I've ever seen him in. He's a really wicked villain, and even the girl that he kidnaps halfway through the movie or whatever, she's supposed to be the main victim. I thought she did a good job too.
Yeah.
I just didn't care for the quote unquote love interest in the movie. That was one of my biggest reservations about it. But that was just me. I found out I'm the only one who thought that way, so maybe it's just me. But if you're on the fence about this one, I recommend it. Yes, please check this one out. As I recall, they said all the footage with the sharks was all the underwater stuff was real, was really shot.
So.
The only time they were CG was when you had to see them above water. And you know what? I can forgive that. I really can, because it doesn't look terrible. No. And the scenes involving the sharks, creepy. Very, and just nerve-wracking as all hell. Like, seriously nerve-wracking. I can't recommend this one enough. She got this one for me for Christmas on Steelbook.
Because they only had it on Steelbook.
Oh, no shit.
Yep.
I feel like you might have told me that, but I think I forgot.
Yep. They only have it on Steelbook for some apparent reason.
Well, you know what? The Psycho is not going to argue with Steelbook. I only have so many. I'm glad that one, I'm glad I have another Steelbook in my collection. I don't collect too many of them. So, moving on to a movie a lot of people had Mixed feelings on 28 years later. You know what? The first
It
time
wasn't
watching it,
bad.
the first time I watched it, I was kind of on the fence, especially after the last 5 minutes with the Power Ranger Teletubby characters. I thought that I remember watching that the first time, and when they appeared, my look on my face was like, "What? What the fuck is going on right now? What?" And then when the credits were rolling, I was like, "What the fuck just happened? What was that?" Like, seriously, I didn't know what I thought
It was
about the
Jimmy,
movie.
don't you know?
I guess I had to go back a second time, and there were a few other things about the movie along the way that I was kind of on the fence about. But now that I watch it a second time, I thought it was better the second time around.
Oh, you just have to, when you're watching it, you got to remember they're not zombies. They're not
No, they're
dead.
infected. They're
They're
infected.
alive. So
Well,
the
no, that
thing,
had
no,
nothing to do
no,
with.
no. What I'm saying is, for some of the things that happened in that movie, without giving a lot away, that they were alive. So the things that happened could be possible.
Yeah, I mean, that was never a problem I had with the movie. A lot of the biggest complaints I heard about the movie had to do with like the pacing of the movie, how the 3 act structure was like, okay, so this one, they said that each one of them felt like it was directed by somebody different because of the way it played out, which I understand that idea, but I really enjoyed the movie for what it was. I feel like it was definitely uh Spike's story ultimately. It was mostly about him. How in the first one he goes out into the wild to try to, prove himself, learn how to defend himself and whatnot. The middle part of it, he's dealing with his mom, and then the third part, he's trying to search out this. Actually, the second and third act have to deal with him searching out Ray Fiennes' character at the Bone Temple, which to be continued on. Or you know what? I have my review up of the Bone Temple that came out a few weeks ago. Feel free to check that one out because there was no doubt a lot of people like that movie as opposed to this one.
Just make sure if he could please like and subscribe to that, because he gets very sad when he doesn't see any
Okay,
on
so
there.
you know what? I'm happy that I do get like 2 likes or a couple likes per video. But yeah, you know what? When I see that a video has 25 views and no likes, I'm like, oh, nobody liked it. I'm gonna cry. But
Maybe
not
somebody's
really.
just watching him over and over again.
Yeah. Oh. Man,
No, it's not me. I promise. I don't have that time.
That sounds really suspect, people. I don't trust that. She had a look on her face, people. I don't trust it.
I wouldn't do that.
Oh, I sure as hell hope not, because that would really make me feel bad. See, when I find out that 25 consecutive people are watching my shit in one particular video, it's like, yeah, all right. Hell yeah, that's what I'm. Oh, the same fucking person watched it? Well, fuck it all.
I don't have that kind of time.
Technically, you could put it on and go do something else. You don't have to actually be there to watch it. So technically, you could be telling the truth on that.
Nope, because I'm at work most of that time.
Okay, well, we'll take that for what it is. Next up, one of the absolute worst horror and just worst movies of last year for me personally. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Do you though?
I do, and I don't care. It's like that one meme. We don't care. Yeah, we don't care. I'm sorry. When they announced this, I was not happy, but I gave it a chance. Damn it. I gave it the benefit. I gave it a chance. Hadn't seen
you didn't like who the killer was.
No.
That upset me.
That's one of my biggest problems with the movie, because for me, watching the first and the second movie, it just did not make any goddamn sense. But at least I can give them credit for bringing back Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze. I swear to God, I always forget his name. But bringing them back as what?
How do you forget Freddie?
His name, not the actor. He actually wrote for WWE for a brief period. I always forget about that. That's actually legit. But the fact that they brought the legacy characters back was fine. I don't know. I didn't care for the premise. I need to watch it again because I only saw it the one time. And there is a cameo in the movie that I was very surprised. You can ask her. My jaw dropped because I was happy when I saw that, because it was unexpected, and the way it was done, it actually kind of sort of made sense. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. It was nice to see. Otherwise, I did not like this one. I didn't like the post-credit scene indicating that we're going to get another one. Please don't. You know they're going to, but God, just yeah, let it go.
Yep.
Let it go. I need to go back and watch part 2. It's been so long. But anyway, moving on to one of the worst to one of the absolute best of the year, Weapons.
There are so many people that didn't like that movie.
Well, you know what? That's their problem.
Yeah, it is. I actually enjoyed it.
That is their prerogative. That's their problem. If they didn't like it, that's on them. But me personally, I love this movie from the first time I watched it, and I've seen it, what, 2, 3 times, I think, because I took Kevin to go see it.
It's a good movie.
He enjoyed it too. The ending, for what how things play out for Ann Gladys. Oh, he was like, oh my God, was that really necessary? I'm like, yeah, yes it was. It was totally necessary. Only a few minor gripes about the movie. They're very minor, nothing that really ruins the movie for me. A lot of good performances. I love the storytelling, how it was told from every main character's point of view and how they interconnected with each other. I thought that was really clever storytelling.
Yeah.
And
you don't get to see that very often.
I agree. And the fact that, I always forget her name, Amy Cardigan, I think that's her name, and Gladys, she's up for an Oscar.
Wow.
Yeah. And you know what? Kudos to her for at least getting the nomination. I don't know if she's going to win it, but you know what? At least she got a nod. That good for her. You know, I'm so happy for her. So we'll see how that plays out. And didn't you buy that one for me for Christmas too?
Yes.
That's what I thought. And so did this next movie. This was interesting. Together with I always want to say oh my God, it's shit. I always forget his name. Allison Brie and one of the Franco brothers. I want to say okay, you give your opinion while I look this up.
Together?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Together was a very interesting movie. I enjoyed it. It was yeah.
Dave Franco. I hate that I always get their names confused. I hate that. I really do, because I like both their work. They've both done some fun work over the years.
The idea of what they had to do was very interesting. I don't like that they kind of forced it on one of them, though. That was kind of, it should have been their, their idea to want to do that instead of forcing them into it.
You've got these two people, Allison Brie and Dave Franco. They've been in a relationship for a while. They find themselves at a bit of a crossroads, and they end up moving to this place out in the countryside. And essentially, a situation happens along the way where Dave Franco makes a mistake, and it ends up becoming an issue where throughout the rest of the movie, both of them, they find themselves in situations where it seems like their bodies are literally trying to intertwine with each other. And that, and I'm not being hypothetical. That's literal.
Like codependency.
Kind of, sort of, yeah. And it's very interesting.
And you gotta let it happen, scenes in that movie.
Mm-hmm. But it leads to some really tense and very graphic, gross out kind of moments.
Because it shows you what can happen if you don't let it happen. If you fight it,
it's not going to go well.
It doesn't end well for those people.
I know a lot of people had reservations about the final ending, how things played out, but I feel like, based on everything that leads up to that moment, I feel like that was, you know what? It wasn't so much the ending, it was just the way it looked. I think that's the best, without giving too much away. I think that's more or less what people were on the fence about.
I like it because it was an original story. No one else has done something like that.
Not that I can remember, but she also got that one for me on 4K. I do look forward to watching it again and maybe doing a second viewing review, which I would love to do in the future. But moving on to The Conjuring: Last Rites.
I liked
it. It was okay. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't terrible, but here's the problem. The first and second movies set the bar so high that it's kind of hard to meet the standard at that point. Even the third one wasn't terrible. I just thought it was okay.
I think my only complaint was all the creature in that movie, whatever the hell it was supposed to be, the demon. It all looked the same. There were supposed to be different people in that place, in that house, but they all had the same look to them. If you ever watch it again, notice that.
I need to. I wanted to watch it a second time because here's my problem. When I watch a movie, after the longer time passes with me only seeing it the one time, I only retain so many details. This is why the way my mind works, I need to watch a movie a couple of times. Not only to see if maybe it hits a little bit better the second time, because sometimes, movies don't hit as well the first time, but also sometimes I might miss details the first time around. It happens. So, but I never got to see it a second time. I think it's on streaming. I do need to watch it again. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying it wasn't as good as the first or second one. That's all I'm saying. And I feel like because some of the better aspects of those two films was that we got to learn and really get to know the people that were in distress, the people that were being possessed. In this family, I don't feel like we really got to know them very much at all. And that was my only thing, because I feel like without that personal attachment, it wasn't as interesting to me. And I didn't have a problem with them kind of putting almost passing the torch onto the daughter character and her soon-to-be husband.
That actually kind of happened in real life
until
something really big happened, and she decided, "No way, I don't want to do that shit."
See, and it makes sense. And some of the cameos that we get at the end of the film during the wedding, I thought was really nice. It was a nice touch. If you've been watching all the movies up until this point, there are some nice little nods here and there, and it was enjoyable for what it was. But I definitely need to give it a second go. Now, at this point, we come to the horror movies that we saw at Fantastic Fest. Now, we have done a recording podcast where we did talk about everything we saw. It's on the back burner. I'm working on putting it on the channel. We haven't done that yet, so we won't spend too much time on these.
We'll just mention these as it goes.
Right. So, starting off with Primate. Yeah, this one's already been released to the mainstream public. I have seen it 3 times, I think. We saw it at the festival. It was the opening movie of the night. I saw it as soon as it came out, and then I took my son Kevin to go see it. He enjoyed it. So, but I know you enjoyed it.
Of course I did.
Mm-hmm. So you're too far from the camera. You got to sit up. Yes, everybody wants to hear you.
Do they though?
Yes, they do. Now, Primate did crack my, I think both of our top 10 of the festival. So definitely a fun movie. If you haven't seen it yet, it's still in theaters. Feel free to go check it out. I highly recommend it. The next movie, on the other hand, she walked out of to go do arts and crafts or some crap.
I got to do arts and crafts.
Yeah, well, she had a lot more fun doing that than watching The Cramps, a period piece.
You know what? I got rid of my periods for a reason. No, thank you for the cramps.
I don't know what to say to that. I don't know what to say to that.
They have a little bitty, what is that thing that crawls up their arm?
Oh, you mean the creature that comes out of her vajayjay? Uh-huh.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, that was anyone who's ever seen The Tingler, it's kind of in that kind of yeah.
No.
Yeah, we talked about it on the podcast. We won't go into too much detail, but that movie did not go very high on our overall list, and she didn't even watch it all, so she doesn't have the most complete opinion about it. But I don't think she ever will. Will you? No, she's already said flat out she ain't gonna do it. So it is what it is. Now, the movie that I was probably looking forward to the most out of the festival, Shelby Oaks. Yes. Directed by one of my favorite YouTubers, that being Chris Stuckman. Got to meet him after the movie was over. That was one of the best moments of my time at the entire festival, in my opinion. The movie, I did see it a second time when it came out. It did release, I want to say, a few weeks after the festival. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's good for what it is.
For a first movie, it's not bad. Because I've seen some people's first movies, and you're questioning a lot.
But, one thing that really kind of agitated the crap out of me as it pertains to this movie, a lot of people were hating on Stuckman after this movie came out, and I didn't think it was warranted.
Why were they hating?
I don't remember why. I just remember reading a bunch of negative comments. I know Cody Leach talked about it on his channel, and it's just like, why are we throwing so much hate at this guy? What, are you jealous because he made a movie, because he was able to elevate himself to the level of making content on YouTube to making a theatrical fucking film.
Well, see, that right there is how I feel with a lot of the art authors that I know.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to hear people talking bad about their movies when they actually come in, like 50 Shades of Grey. I remember reading that book
Mm-hmm.
before it was even a book.
Mm-hmm. Wait, reading it before it was a movie, you mean?
No, before it was even a book.
How did you pull that off? Excuse me.
Because it was a fan fiction before it was a book.
Oh.
So knowing where it started and then seeing it actually become on film and knowing that they were able to do each step,
Mm-hmm.
that's an accomplishment.
It is an accomplishment.
Yeah, I get it could have been a shitty movie, but they did it. And that should mean a lot.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. You can appreciate the fact that they were able to make that advancement and able to take those steps and get to that ultimate conclusion.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. That makes a lot of sense. Like, you can sit there and say, okay, this movie was dog shit. I'm not talking about that movie. I'm just saying in general. You can say, oh, this movie was dog shit, but at least they made a movie. They did something they wanted to do, something they were probably passionate about. And you can take that for what it is, in my opinion.
It could have been something off their bucket list they wanted to do.
And well, you know what? revisiting the whole idea about the cramps, that was probably on that
I understand
category.
That. It just wasn't one of my...
It wasn't her cup of tea.
Nope.
It just wasn't. But I'm just using that as an example. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm not hating on it. It's just not for me.
Yeah, and I don't care for the hate that Stuckman got, but you know what? He's still pretty humble about everything.
Because he understands there's gonna be hate. That's just normal. That's how you grow.
Mm-hmm. And I can't wait to see what he's gonna do next. I'm sure he's got other ideas. Coming up after that is Vicious. Honestly, one of my least favorite movies at the festival. Damn it! You know what? I feel Dakota Fanning's performance was the only good thing about that movie, aside from some of the practical effects that were being used. But otherwise, this was one of my least favorites, period.
Again, it's one of those movies that would have been a lot better if there was more context to what was going on.
There's a lot of things that happened that just did not make a whole lot of sense, in our opinion. So,
But Dakota made it awesome.
She was great. And she makes me want to see the movie again to see if maybe it hits better the second time. And plus, I love Dakota. I've been a fan of her since she was a little girl.
Yep, since she was like 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I Am Sam.
I Am Sam, Man on Fire, Uptown Girls. The list goes on and on. So she's awesome. After that, we had the next installment of the VHS franchise, VHS Halloween. Oh, she kind of cringed on that one, but not because it wasn't bad. Only because of some of the content that happens in the movie.
It's the candy.
The candy. Oh, the candy. Oh, the candy.
Always break open your chocolate candies before you bite into them, because you will.
Hey, that's a rule in Trick or Treat. Always check your candy.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was a fun movie. One of the biggest complaints I heard from people is that not all the stories pertain to Halloween, and they're not wrong, but I'm willing to overlook that because they all have their own type of horror element. But the one things, the skits that had to do with Halloween, I thought they hit pretty well. There was only one skit I didn't care for. Only one. The rest of them weren't too. Oh, it had to do with the adults and kids being kidnapped, tortured, and killed. And I'm not a big fan of watching kids being tortured and killed. It's probably the father in me. I've mentioned that before on our podcast. So yeah, but some people probably get off on it, sick bastards, but I'm not one of them. So that was the only thing about that one I didn't care for. A lot of people hated the soda scenes that happen in between all the main sequences. The scene that's supposed to tie everything together. A lot of people were like, what's with this? This is pointless. I'm like, those scenes were fucking funny.
I think that was a point.
Well, apparently a lot of people kind of missed that point. A lot of people couldn't get into it. The more it went on, the funnier I think it got. But that's just my opinion. Can't wait to watch it again. Next up was Coyotes with Justin Long and his real life wife. Oh, god damn it. Oh my god, I forgot her name all of a
Mrs.
sudden.
Long.
Yeah, no, she played Lois Lane in Superman Returns, and I hate that I
Ugh.
cannot think of her name. Kate Botsworth. I am so sorry, Miss Botsworth. I have brain farts from time to time. I was dropped on my head as an infant, and it just affects me.
You just use that all the time.
You know what? That's the only thing that makes any sense to me. That's probably what it is. But then again, you know, it could just be that my brain sucks. I don't know. But anyway, Coyotes. I picked this movie specifically because it had Justin Long, because I'm at a point in my life when you put out a horror movie, if I see Justin Long's name anywhere near it, I want to see it, because Justin Long in a horror movie is gold in my book. Unfortunately, this does not continue that trend, but it has nothing to do with him. The material.
It's the Coyotes. I understand. I understand why they had to do what they did.
Yeah.
But it could have been a little better. Just
Yeah.
a little better.
Well,
I'm not asking for a lot, but when you're using CG, just make it realistic as much as you can. Don't make it look like that.
Well, I'll give you an example. I just came back from watching Frankenstein a second time with Kevin. The wolves in that movie were CG, but they didn't look that bad.
Exactly.
The coyotes just look terrible in this movie. And again, yes, we understand that's why they had to do it. Coyotes are not the easiest animals on the planet to work with in a movie scenario.
And they're very shy.
Exactly. But they look terrible. The premise wasn't really all that interesting.
I must be a coyote in my past life.
But I do want to watch this one again. I think it's on streaming somewhere. I do need to give it a second go. But yeah, it just didn't hit. But it had nothing to do with the main actors. It was just the premise and the storyline and situations that happened throughout the film, on top of the not so great CG. The next one you will probably never have the opportunity to see. We found this out later. 13 Days Till Summer.
I enjoyed that movie so much.
Unfortunately, I did fall asleep for the middle portion of the movie. And it sucks, because now I'm never going to get a chance to watch it, because apparently the Q&A that happened in this movie the first time it played, because we saw this further along in the festival, I don't remember what happened. I don't remember hearing this explanation until later. Or maybe they didn't do a Q&A for us. But anyway, the director came out and said that this movie is never going to be distributed outside of this festival and another festival. That's it. It's never going to be seen by the light of day. And I'm not happy about that, because I wanted to go back and see the shit that I missed, because this movie was okay, in my opinion.
It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, but it was okay. That's why I said it was okay. It was like a mixed bag. The ending was shocking as all hell, but then it ended with a fucking cop-out ending, which I hate. I hate those kind of endings.
Yeah, it was a switch ending, though.
Yeah, it kind of was.
It was... There were two different endings.
Well,
they gave you both of them.
Right. It left you wondering. First, we have this scenario, and then the last 15 seconds show, like, oh, did he just dream all that, or was he thinking about doing it? I mean, it basically, it does one of those things where it's like everything we just saw hasn't happened or never happened, one or the other. And it's just, I can't stand those kind of endings. I really don't. But the mask of the mask killer was like an upside down creepy face. I thought that was an interesting. They do use like at one point a camera angle that kind of plays with that idea. I thought that was creepy. The idea of trapping all these teenagers inside of a house using the alarm system against them. I thought that was kind of clever way to trap them in the house. That was interesting, but I can't give any decent opinion on this one because I fell asleep. I missed some of the meat and potatoes, unfortunately. But
it's pretty much like a whodunit kind of movie.
That's
why I said kind of.
Kind of. But yeah, if this movie ever gets to see the light of day, as soon as I know, I'll let everybody know. But don't be surprised. You probably never see it. It sucks. Next up was actually one of the best movies, and another movie that we were very much looking forward to, Black Phone 2.
Yeah.
And it definitely delivered. I enjoyed it. Got to see it again after it released, like, what, a few weeks later, I think it
And
was, in
I
October.
hate the hate that that movie got. It was really good for its own merit. It wasn't a rehashing of anything. It was its
Mm.
own little movie
I don't think
about.
it was, no, because I mean, we do continue more of Finn's story after what happened with him and the grabber in the first film, but the
It's
fact
more
that
for the sister.
we concentrated more on the sister and the fact that the grabber has targeted her more than anybody else. That was an interesting idea. We learned a little bit more about the mother character from the previous movie without getting too much into detail if you haven't seen it. I enjoyed this movie. There were only a couple of minor gripes, but it wasn't anything that tarnished the overall enjoyment. This movie, I know it cracked the top 10, but I don't remember the exact number. I think I got the list right in front of me. Oh, number 2. Black Phone 2 was my number 2 of the festival out of 32 things that we watched.
Yeah.
So that's pretty damn good. So highly recommend that if you haven't seen it. So the next movie was Don't Leave the Kids Alone. Now, when I initially did my out of theater reaction for this movie, I said it wasn't bad. But the more I let the movie swim around my head, the more I realized, you know what? It was okay.
There was a lot of things that you're like, why? A
Mhm.
mother, a real mother wouldn't have done half of the stuff that was in that movie.
I agree. If I feel like if a mother is on the, it's like if it was me or you, if you're on the phone and you're talking to your kid and you can hear them in peril, any kind of peril, I don't care what the hell's
Even
going
if
on.
it's plain in peril, you know they're in peril.
Mhm.
You're gonna go.
You're gonna leave what you're doing, drop what you're doing, and go take care of the situation. But this mother doesn't do that. Every time she hears something going on, she still finds a way to stay at this damn party or lets these people keep her there because it has something to do with she has to sign some papers or something. I forget what that premise was all about. But she leaves these kids alone because the babysitter cancels at the last minute.
And
And
it's not even, these kids are not even 10 years old yet. So they shouldn't even be left alone.
no, they're young as shit and they're both immature as hell. They spend half the movie arguing with each other and yelling at each other, cursing at each other. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it turns into a house possession movie and it kind of just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I need to watch this one again down the road. I hope it does get some kind of distribution. I need to give it a second viewing, but Next up, Crazy Old Lady. Oh my God, this movie was fun.
Yeah, loca.
Kind of reminiscent of Misery in the sense that you have an older woman who's suffering from a touch of dementia, it's not taking her pills, and on the request of this woman's daughter, a friend comes to the house to help her take her pills, but apparently this older woman mistakes the friend for her former husband who treated her like shit when in a previous point in her life. So she ends up tying him to a chair and basically tortures him. That's the best way I can describe it without giving too much away. This was number 6 at the freaking festival. I enjoyed this one immensely. And I wish that the actress had been there for a Q&A. I would have loved to just, maybe meet her for a second, shake her hand, tell her, you know what, you did such a good job. It makes me want to look up more of her stuff.
Yes,
But-
she has a lot of different stuff.
Yes, from what I've read, she does, but I haven't had a chance to look at any of that yet. Next up was a pick that she made during the festival, Dolly.
Hey, I enjoyed that movie.
You know what? It wasn't bad. I just like
No,
to have fun with you.
It wasn't bad.
I like to
at
have fun with
all.
her because
it was really
it was
a decent.
it was
movie.
gross. Let's be fair here. It was gross. Oh my God, the breastfeeding sequence was disgusting. You
That
have
was
to
the
admit.
point.
Exactly. It was disgusting.
But I've seen more disgusting things that are worse than that.
She's getting defensive. You don't see the look on her face, but she's like really defensive right now. But
Go watch Dolly in March and see what I'm talking about.
March or April, whichever.
No, it's March.
It's March. You looked it up.
March 8th. I
Okay,
believe.
she looked it up. Okay.
So
Dolly-
go watch it.
Dolly has distribution. I'm not saying it was terrible. I just feel like it
It's-
wasn't great, but that's
Of
just
course
my
it wasn't.
opinion.
It wasn't perfect, but it's again another movie that you can sit down and numb your
Ooh.
brain
Ooh.
and enjoy.
Defensive. Look, usually you don't see the look on her face right now. She's getting excited. She's going to slap me in the face.
Never.
Go ahead, slap me in the face.
No.
Go ahead, slap me in
No.
the face. Go ahead.
Never.
Okay, well.
But Dolly is awesome in my part.
It was a decent horror movie. It was actually done on 16 millimeter.
And that made it even better to me.
Fair enough. It also had Sean William Scott, and I feel sorry for his character in the movie for everything he had to go through.
You know, he had some.
Yeah, and Ethan Suplee's in it, and they were both executive producers, so that was pretty cool. So clearly they had a lot of faith in this movie. It is a kind of a gross out movie. It does have kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes to it, which I did say in my initial reaction, but I do look forward to seeing it a second time. Maybe it hits a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe it does. But yeah, I think that's the most I can say about that one without getting into too much detail. The next movie was actually one of the secret screenings. Silent Night, Deadly Night, a remake of the original film. And you know what?
Wasn't that supposed to come out?
It was
Christmas?
I thought it was supposed to come out in December, but it never hit any of our theaters. Believe me, I was looking because I enjoyed this movie. There were a few things that were a little bit rough around the edges, a few things like the whole Venom vibe. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, but I the way they explained it kind of made sense, I guess. If you're willing to suspend,
I need to see the original.
Actually, I don't think you need to, but
no, just to see what the difference is between this remake and the original.
Right, but that whole Venom aspect, I feel like if you're willing to suspend your disbelief, then you can totally get into it. Then it's not that big of a deal. Otherwise, I thought the movie was fun. There is some pretty good gore. I didn't have a problem with the main two actors that were in the film. I thought they did a good job. It does leave a hook for another movie, which the way they did it, I'm intrigued. I want to see another sequel. I want to see where this is going to go going forward. You know what I mean? So they made me want more, which is a good thing, because I've heard that the original is kind of like your typical trashy 80s slasher film, and I've heard the sequels are crap, but I've never seen any of them. So, but it does, like you said, it makes me want to see the original.
Yeah.
One day. So we'll get around to it eventually.
Real quick on the crazy old lady one, real fast.
What's that?
It'll be on Shudder on February 27th.
Oh, we gotta get Shudder. Yes. Gotta get Shudder. Sorry, I get excited for this. It's the simple things in life, people, that you gotta get excited for. Okay. Very much. We're getting down to the nitty gritty here. We've got so many more to go. But the next one, she did not like. Fuck my son.
Fuck that movie.
Yeah. This goes back to our argument earlier about, you know what, you got to at least give these people credit and ball. They got to have balls to make a movie like this.
And I even told him, congratulations, but it ain't a movie I want to watch again.
And you know what? I thought Dolly was gross. This movie blows it right out of the fucking water.
Exactly.
So, yeah. If you ever get a chance to check it out.
They're showing it. They've been showing it all this past week.
Where?
In the draft houses. I told you that.
Not here in this town.
No, not in this town. But they showed it in Austin. They showed it in San Antonio.
I looked at this in it. I must have missed it. I didn't see it.
The fuckathon? Yeah.
The fuckathon?
That's what he called it. The fuckathon.
Oh my God.
And he had different showings for the fuckathon.
Oh gee. Okay.
Yep.
Well, you know what? Anyone who saw it at the fuckathon, hopefully they enjoyed it. So, but this movie was something else. I will say, if you decide to see it down the road, if it ever gets picked up for streaming, watch at your own risk. That's all I'm gonna say.
And don't eat while you're watching this movie or before watching this movie.
Yeah, just no food. Treat it like you have motion sickness and you're getting on a roller coaster. Just don't do it. Don't do it.
You might get queasy.
Yeah, probably. Next up is my favorite movie of the festival, Obsessed. And you know what? I'm not going to say anything about this movie outside of it actually got picked up by Focus Pictures literally a week or two.
It's actually called Obsession. I was going to tell you have it written.
Is it Obsession?
Yep.
Oh, then I miswrote it. Oh, my bad. Okay. You know what? I must have just written it incorrectly, but
Yeah.
obsession. Oh, you know what? It's right there in my list. I don't know why I put obsessed. Okay, so thank you for correcting me. I make myself look like an idiot. Obsession. It got picked up by Focus Pictures
I
literally
can't
a week or
wait.
two. What?
I can't wait. I want to see that movie again.
She interrupted me twice, people. You heard it. You heard it twice. Twice. While I was trying to make my point. But yes, we are both looking forward to watching it again. This movie was awesome. It was picked up by Focus literally a few weeks before the festival. They were actually there interviewing people after the movie to get people's opinions. I actually did partake in it, so I don't know if that footage will ever see the light of day, but we'll see. Go see Obsession when it comes out. When does it come out? May 12th,
It's
14th?
in the May.
It's in May. It's literally a couple of weeks before my birthday. I know that. Somewhere in that ballpark.
I'll find out.
Go see Obsession. But moving on. Restoration at Grayson Manor, which you confirmed does have distribution. It is coming out sometime this year, which I am happy. I think it's the director or somebody who worked on the film actually liked my review that I put on TikTok, which I'm currently putting on my YouTube channel. So it's nice to get a little recognition from the people who did the movie that liked my little rant about the movie, because I had a lot of good things to say about this one. Uh, Again, without getting too much into details, essentially a guy in the beginning of the movie, he loses his hands and they hire some people that are supposed to make him some new pair of hands, but then it ends up becoming almost like idle hands, where these new metallic mechanical hands apparently are getting, like, they kind of moving around on their own. That's the best way I can describe it. What's up?
Oh wait, you're
Which
telling about that movie. I have a few trivia thingies for Obsess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Obsession.
yeah.
See, you did it too. You did it too.
Yes,
Ha 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 ha.
yes.
But yeah, Restoration at Grayson Manor. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I got to meet the director afterwards, got a picture with him. He was a real cool guy. It was like a random comment that was made after the film, and he just kind of approached me. We started talking. We talked for about a minute or two, so that was a lot of fun. But it is coming out sometime this year, so keep an eye out for that. So, what do you have to say about Obsession?
It was shot for under $1 million
Ooh.
and was picked up by Focus Features for
Mhm.
distribution for 15 million plus after a bidding war. Several distributions wanted it, including A24 and Neon.
Why does that not surprise me? Those are the main companies that do horror these days, it seems like.
Here's one you don't know.
What?
The music store scenes were shot at the same music store as Wayne's World.
Huh?
Yep.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking A. Wow. That's an interesting piece of trivia.
Yep.
Damn. Okay, so we're almost done with we only got 2 more movies left for the festival. Then we can hit out the rest of these. So the next one was The Vial, which I remember you weren't a big fan of.
Well, it wasn't that I wasn't a big fan of it. Again, I had a lot of questions.
Had a lot of questions. This was a foreign film, as half the movies we saw at Fantastic Fest were. Interesting premise. You've got a father of what country did this come from? It's one of the countries where the husbands can kind of do whatever the hell they want, essentially, because the husband comes home with a second wife, essentially, and just kind of lets her move in, and her moving in kind of just turns the house upside down. The original wife, she's not dealing with it very well, and then there's also situations going on with this second wife helping out the daughter in school, but it gets a little creepy as the movie goes on.
It says Amani's peaceful life as a wife and mother shatters when her husband brings home a second wife.
There you go.
Unleashing mysterious dark forces into their household.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that sounds about right. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was bad. It was okay for what it was. I mean, we actually switched up from a movie that we were going to watch originally because this movie had won some kind of an award at the festival. So we thought maybe we'd change and give it a try. Hopefully we get to check out the other movie that we bowed out of at some point, which I can't remember the name right now. But I want to see this one again.
If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, I think is the one we bowed out of.
It might have been. I might have it in my notes somewhere. But yeah, definitely want to see it again. But I can't give too many details about that because I only remember so much. But The last movie of the festival, Whistle. Okay, you know what? She got on me during our original podcast when we talked about all the movies about how I was a little bit negative, which she's not wrong. But the bottom line is, this was one of my least favorite movies of the festival. It was very, oh, I can never think of the word. It's there are other movies that have already done this idea before in some fashion or another, so it didn't feel very original. I didn't think. The bottom line, okay, I don't want to get too much into detail, but the bottom line is, I didn't care for this movie very
There's
much.
a lot of bottom lines when it comes.
Apparently there is, but I gave it a thumbs down. I will see it again when it comes out. Hopefully it hits a little better, but it just, I was surprised that this was picked as a final film.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one that thinks that. Some of the other YouTubers I watch, they all have the similar opinion.
Well,
So it's not
because
just me.
As my daughter says, they didn't use that whistle correctly, and it really bugged the hell out of her.
Hmm.
And I think other people that have that same mentality as she does will probably see it that way, especially if they know what that whistle really represents. Because she really went on a tangent telling me the whole story about this said whistle, and that, they pretty much were horrifying the whistle when it was supposed to be a religious whistle for the dead or something or other. She's the one that told me. I don't remember all of it.
I didn't hear any of this rant, and
You just be glad you didn't.
I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I know she goes off on tangents. So
yes,
but bottom line is, I didn't enjoy it. But go see it for yourself when it comes out. I think it comes out here pretty soon, like in February or March, one or the other. So yeah, it is what it is. That does it for the festival at Fantastic Fest, and there's at least a handful more that we saw afterwards. Somewhere along the way, I don't remember why, I got into the kick of wanting to watch the Annabelle films. I forget why. So we watched the original, but then I had never seen Annabelle Creation or Annabelle Comes Home. We watched them pretty much back to back. And I thought they were both decent for what they were. I thought Creation wasn't too bad, it was decent. And I thought Comes Home was also pretty decent. As I recall, McKenna Grace was in that one. Or no, you know what? I think she was in Creation, now that I think about it. McKenna Grace is currently like one of my number one favorite actresses right now. That woman can do no wrong at this point. But both those Annabelle movies, I like them enough to where I would like to have them on Blu-ray at some point. So I definitely enjoyed both those movies better than the original film. I thought the original film was just a little slow. Oh boy. Oh, you're going to love this one. Strangers, Chapter 2. Oh, you want to talk about evil eye. She could have burned a hole right through me with that look. She's still looking at me right now. She's still looking right now.
I had my eyes closed.
You know, this movie did play at Fantastic Fest, and when we went through all the movies that were, that were going to be showing there, we both agreed we are skipping this one. We are not wasting a showtime on this one because we did not like the first one.
I am so glad we did.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't either. And they did try to promote this movie heavily by picking out different people to wear various masks during the premiere of this movie. I know that because they were lined up in the freaking hallway leading to the theaters and whatnot before that showtime happened. I feel bad for Cody Leach because he got picked to do it and he didn't really get any kind of a benefit outside of wearing said mask. He said it was uncomfortable as hell. So I feel bad for him, but even more so for anybody who actually watched that the first night. But the third one comes out sometime soon. We're not looking forward to it, but I'll end up seeing it just to see that hopefully all these two movies that we've seen up till now have some kind of culmination that makes any kind of interest.
Yeah.
I don't have high hopes though.
No,
not so much. After that, Good Boy. This was a nice little movie. I actually enjoyed this one.
Again, this is another movie.
Oh no, here we go.
No, this is another movie that was kind of not a passion project, but it was a husband and wife making a movie with their dog at home.
Mm-hmm, pretty much.
They didn't have to use a lot of money. It was throughout a whole year worth of making the movie.
Actually, it took a few years.
Yeah, it was a while, but they made a movie with their dog, and there was like I don't even think there was a lot of dialogue in that movie at
No, there
all.
really wasn't, because really there's only a couple of humans in the movie. There's the owner of the dog, and then the sister, I think it was, that he like talks to periodically throughout the
Which
story
is
and
the
whatnot.
wife in real life, yeah.
Yeah, so, and even after the movie was over, there was a brief little behind the scenes showing like how they made the movie, which I thought was a lot of fun to watch. It was nice to see like how the progression, how the process worked with using the dog in the movie. The movie
Mm-hmm.
itself is not terrible. It's a very short film. It was like an hour and 15 minutes long, which is smart considering that the dog is the main character. It's pretty
Yeah,
much all from his point of view.
they did it. They did a really good
It
job.
wasn't bad. I mean, it had a few slow moments along the way, but thankfully,
But
because they kept the runtime low, it doesn't overstay its welcome. Thankfully.
well, it was a dog, so
I
it would have
understand,
been
but the
pretty
bottom line
slow.
is that you have to keep things moving. Otherwise, you lose your core audience. People get bored. I'm not saying me, I'm saying other people. I've heard other people's reviews, and that was the main thing I heard as a complaint, that it got a little bit slow and draggy here and there. But it's a fucking dog as the main character. It's like, I feel like you have to expect
This dog, he didn't have any
dialogue.
acting rights. That was his first movie.
Well, he's a freaking dog. What do you expect?
Exactly.
So, but yes, it wasn't a bad movie for what it was. I do want to see it again. This next movie, I did not watch this one on my own accord. This was actually given to me as a suggestion on TikTok. Somebody who is seeing my reviews from Fantastic Fest recommend, because he played a slasher character in this movie called Teddy Told Me To. It was a low budget horror movie that was made, I think, within the last couple of years. He suggested it to me, so I looked it up. It was on Tubi. I checked it out. You know what? I don't really know what to say about this one outside of just go see it for yourself. I mean, the movie is not very well acted. You could tell they didn't have a whole lot of money to play with, but that whole thing about, I give them credit for trying. You could definitely see these people were having fun while
That's
they're
what
making this
counts.
movie, and it really comes off the screen, and I feel like that kind of made it enjoyable. And there were a lot of kills in the movie too. A lot of the effects are very kind of low budget, but just the idea of all these different kills happening, it's still cringeworthy. So take it for what it is. But yeah, he was the guy who played the guy in the mask. So thank you. I don't know what his name is off the top of my head, but thank you for giving that to me as a recommendation. Oh, and they had a cameo from The Godfather. Remember him from WWE? But he's not the Godfather in the movie. He's dressed up as Papa Shango, which was a character he played before that, which
Interesting.
it's such a quick scene, but it was kind of funny. So Teddy Told Me To. I think it's still available on Tubi. Feel free to check that out. I'll let you talk for a second while I take a swig of water.
What am I supposed to talk about?
All right, we're actually down to the nitty gritty. We're almost done here. And we're hitting the hour and a half mark. So for all 5 of you that are still listening right now,
Or 2.
5 is a better number. You got to aim higher, sweetheart. You got to aim higher. Come on now. For all 3 of you that are still listening, we thank you very much. Now, the next couple of movies that we actually saw at Dismember the Alamo. This is a yearly horror movie marathon that happens close to Halloween every year at the Draft House. They were doing it here in Corpus this year or this last year, so we chose to just stay here as opposed to going to San Antonio. I wanted to ask you, we never got a patch this year, did we?
No.
That was the biggest downside of not going to San Antonio, because the last 2 years that I've gone, I've gotten a patch. This year, they didn't give us anything in Corpus, and I can't help but wonder if they had them up there but just didn't send them here. Or maybe they just didn't have them at all. We have no way to know.
Nope.
So,
No.
but anyway, the next 3 movies were we watched during this whole thing, and the first one was Don't Panic. We actually did talk about this before. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting movie from the 80s that was made by a Mexican director. I don't, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to gloss over these
Yeah,
because,
let's do that.
I don't remember too much about these movies, but yeah, very low budget made, very funny to watch. The next one was 2000 Maniacs. She didn't care for this one. She didn't care
Nope.
for it.
Not
Definitely, what?
Not my cup of tea.
Yeah, another
or
one of
Coke
those.
or anything.
I think it came out in the 60s or 70s, a very low budget type of movie. It was also kind of not so greatly acted, but
I didn't like the premise of it.
yeah, I think they remade that one at some point. Don't quote me on that, but I want to say there's an updated version of that. I need to look into that, and if there is, I want to check it out just to see what they would have come up with as a remake. The last movie we saw that night was Possessor. This is a movie that had been on my list for a while. Essentially, you got a woman who is able to get locked into this machine and able to basically take control of other people's bodies for a period of time
like
for
that.
one reason or another.
So it's kind of like that one movie that we saw at Fantastic Fest.
Which one?
I told you the one.
I know, but I don't remember which one you're talking about again.
It's the one where they would switch bodies 3 times and then.
Oh, you're talking about Suitable Flesh.
That's what it reminds me.
Kind of, sorta, except in that one it was a little more like an ancient chant that had to be done. In this one, you're actually hooked up to a machine to do this, but there are reasons why they're trying to take possession of these people. It was a weird movie. It was very weird. I need to watch it again to see because some details.
Wasn't it a Cronenberg movie?
You know what? Yes, it was. I think it was his son who made that one. So that explains the weird nature of the film, in my opinion.
They all do weird movies, but they're not bad. They're just weird.
No, just weird. I mean, look at the Fly. That's one of my favorite movies from the 80s. It's a great remake, great flick. We got 4 more to go, and then we're officially done for 2025. This next one, I actually just got home from watching this for the second time a few hours ago. Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro. You know what? Masterpiece.
Yes, it's the closest to the novel than anything is that I've seen.
The only other one I think that actually does do a good job of coming close was the Mary Shelley's Frankenstein from the 90s with Kenneth Branagh. That one wasn't too bad either. Oh, Robert De Niro played the monster in that film. That one is also pretty close to the original materials, but they're both not exactly the same.
I love the way they portrayed the monster in this one, because he was a baby.
He's a very sympathetic character. Even Kevin kept saying, like, that was a sad story. I'm like, yeah, it is, because at the end of the day, you've got this creature who gets created and then shunned.
And that shows that he understood. Now you should have told him, now you need to read the book.
I told him I have it, and I need to read it myself. I really do want to read it after watching this.
Y'all need to read it.
So I've heard. But I can't recommend this movie enough. It's a Netflix movie, and it's also up for several nominations. I want to say it's up for Best Picture. And you know what? That would be interesting if it actually won. That would be really interesting. But it's up against a lot of the good bangers, too. So it'll be interesting to see what gets it this year. Next up, Five Nights at Freddy's 2, or FNAF 2, if you prefer.
That's another one that I know I didn't see, but that's another one that I noticed a lot of people dogging on that have played the games didn't like it. But people that didn't know what the games were, they enjoyed the movie for what it was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know too much about the lore of the games or anything, but I thought this movie was okay.
That's what I mean.
It was all right. I mean, Kevin did say that, yes, they do screw around with the lore. There's a lot of things they mess up that they do. They basically, the way he described it is the way I described the Resident Evil movie franchise, where they took a lot of elements from the games and threw it in a freaking blender and just did whatever the hell they wanted with it. That's the best way I can describe it from his perspective. For me, I didn't think it was a good follow-up to the original film. I was bummed that Matthew Lillard was barely in the film, even though he helped promote that movie heavily. That was kind of a bummer. It was nice to see Skeet Ulrich in the movie because they were both promoting it together, but they don't even have any screen time together. That's kind of a bummer, but take it for what it is. It was nice to see Skeet after all these years, but I need to watch it again though. But I mean, for me, it was a mixed bag.
I never got to see it.
You never got to well, it'll come on streaming
eventually.
Went to
go watch it by herself with her friends, and
she left you high and dry.
She's been doing that
Poor
lately.
thing. Poor thing.
Okay.
Well, you got me to watch movies with, because I watch everything. Almost everything.
Yeah.
Whatever comes to Corpus. You hear me, distributors? Bring more shit to Corpus. I want to watch everything. Anyway, Two movies left. This next one was actually a movie that I specifically watched a few weeks ago, or about a month ago, however long it was, in order to be on the Lord Scuba-Cabra, as we call him, on his podcast, The Crypt of Cringe. It was Howling 7, I think it was called New Moon Rising. Oh boy, this is one of the worst horror movies I've ever seen. If you even want to qualify it as a horror movie, it's supposed to be a werewolf movie, but werewolves are only on screen maybe for 5 minutes, and most of that is through flashbacks from the previous movies. What the fuck? Like, like he said during the podcast, I give these people credit for making a movie. Good for you for doing that. But man, this was hard to sit through. I must have paused this movie about 15 times to go do something else and then come back and try to get through it. Him and his wife, she couldn't finish it. They got 30 minutes in, they stopped, and she just could not finish it. That's how bad it was. But you know what? I'm gonna say go check it out and judge for yourself. That's all I'm gonna say. The last movie that we saw, that I guess you can call it a horror movie. I don't even know if I call it a horror. It's more like a creature feature, and it was called Dust Bunny. It only had one. What?
That was cute.
It was cute. It was fun. It only had one showtime here at the Draft House, and then that was it. I think this is one of those that had limited distribution, but essentially you've got this assassin character that lives across the hall from a little girl who believes that there is a monster living underneath her floor in the apartment that she lives in, and her parents disappear. And yeah, so supposedly she thinks that her parents are dead because of the monster, so she tries to hire the assassin to kill the monster.
I love the assassin.
Yeah, I do like the actor. I always, you know what? I hate that I can never remember this guy's name. He was in Casino Royale as Le Chiffre.
Yeah,
he's done a lot of other stuff over the years.
One of my daughter's favorite actors.
Mm-hmm. He's one of my favorites too. I like him in everything I've seen him in. He played the father from Rogue One, the one that made that whole problem with the Death Star, so to speak. You know what? I feel like I would do a disservice if I can't at least mention his name. Mads Mikkelsen. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yes, you know what? And it also has Sigourney Weaver. I love Sigourney Weaver, so it was nice to see her in this too. But as far as I know, I think it's already on Prime or something like that. It's already on streaming. I can't recommend it enough. It was fun for what it was. It was a lot of fun. So, but that does it. 54 horror movies. Some of these are debatable if you want to call them horror, but those are all the horror movies that we saw in 2025. And I think we can both agree Obsession was our favorite. And I cannot wait for it to come out again. Or to see it again when it comes out, is what I should have said. Mm-hmm. But...
And Dolly.
And Dolly. She can't wait to see Dolly.
I can't. I want to see it again.
Well, we'll both see it again when it comes out, and we'll see. I might do a second viewing review on it to see if it hits better. We'll see what happens with that. But anything else you want to say about any of the movies that we watched before we sign off here?
Go watch them for yourself and see what you like.
Judge them for yourself. Yeah, please do, because I always say I may not have liked it, she may not have liked it, but that doesn't mean anybody out there doesn't like it. Everyone has their own cup of tea, right?
Yep.
We can agree on that.
Yep.
All right. Well, let me just get some quick preliminaries out of the way. You can actually find me currently over on multiple podcasts. I did do one episode of the Crypt of Cringe over on Lord Scuba-Cabra's podcast that I mentioned before. Feel free to check that out. I want to say he does have it on YouTube. He might have it on Spotify, but don't quote me on that. But definitely you can find the video recording on YouTube. For me and my brother, we're actually on his podcast, the Josh Zodiac Podcast. We're doing a series over the next year where we review classic pay-per-views, WWE, WCW. Just do a random pay-per-view per month. I want to say the first video has already dropped. That was the Royal Rumble 2013. Don't quote me on that. feel free to check that out. There's going to be a new video every month going forward, and as well as the Real Movie Critics, the other podcast that he started doing so many months ago. That one is is him, me, and our friend Lord Scuba-Cabra. I am stumbling all over my words right now.
And this is why he hasn't done his own podcast in so long. He's focusing on everybody else's.
No, because we couldn't collaborate our schedules together. That was also part of the problem. I still find time to do that, but I've also throughout the month of January, I have finally gotten back in front of the camera, which I hadn't done in months since Fantastic Fest. I already have a few movie reviews for January movies. I've already done a few of them, and I'm also working on putting all of my At a Theater reactions from Fantastic Fest on my YouTube channel. Once I'm done doing that, I have a few other videos I'd like to film. So, but the problem is that only have so much time for that on top of having to work 40 hours a week and being daddy.
Yes, well,
so
here.
Well, you don't have a podcast. You don't have a YouTube channel. So,
No, I have other parts of my life that I have to do.
Mm-hmm. That's why you're not available. I understand. I understand. Life is life. Life is life. Anyway, those are the other ways you can find me outside of this podcast. There are going to be more going forward. We do have a few other things we want to knock out before we get too far into this year. I am sorry that it's taken me this long, but feel free to say goodbye to everybody there, Miss CJ.
Goodbye.
For the Psycho Nerd, I will say thank you very much for watching. If you watched this entire podcast, or yes, listened, oh my God, see what I mean? I'm going to have to go back and edit that out. Probably not, but anyway, hopefully you got a laugh out of it. But thank you for watching. Oh my God, I did it again.
Yep.
I did it again.
You need to go to bed.
I guess so. I need to do something else. Thank you so much for listening. If you listen to the whole thing, I greatly appreciate it. Feel free to leave any kind of a like, any comments, anything you want to say about my constant babbling and screwing up along the way. Feel free to let me know. I'd love to hear what you got to say about it. But in the end of the day, everybody, please take care of yourselves. Please be safe. Just don't forget to have fun. Just not too much fun.